Hi, this is Danna from Smokescreen South Africa. Welcome to our Invisible Shield podcast. And today I would like to introduce you to Bradley Whelan, the General Manager of Security Banking Technology in South Africa. Bradley, from the beginning to now, I think your journey within the space has changed quite substantially. So I'd like to rewind and go back to where you started with SBT in 2008.
No, well, thank you very much for having us. And yeah, it's been a journey. Back in 2008, our business cut its teeth as a traditional metal fabricator, focusing on ATM upgrades, steel fascias or facades, anything that added physical security to the banking sector. That's where our business cut its teeth originally back in 2008.
Okay, great. So in those days, it was very much about strength and adding more concrete. At what point did you decide that that was no longer working?
We realized that you could enhance the physical security of your safes. Stronger concrete, more concrete, stronger steel, thicker steel. But every enhancement was met with a bigger and a larger explosive attack from the criminals. So at some point, it was no longer safe for people around ATMs when they were attacking them. So in around about 2011, there was a massive boom in the amount of attacks, or 2010, in the country. And it was larger attacks, bigger attacks, more violent attacks.
Yeah.
And we realized that you couldn't just meet a larger attack with more security, because they would then yet again increase the size of their attack from that point on.
Yeah.
So in 2010, 2011, our business patented and designed something called BINK, which is Banking Inc. And it was the first of its kind. It's a passive dye stain solution that is installed inside the cassettes of the ATM. And I think the best way to explain it would be like a landmine. So it's completely dormant until stood on. And our product's the same. It's installed. It sits passively until there's an explosive attack. And we have patented shockwave technology that ruptures our product and swells the notes on an explosive attack. So back in 2011, we came up with the solution, and we've been rolling it out ever since.
Fantastic. And when ATM bombings stopped, what happened subsequently? Where did the criminals end up going?
It's a difficult one because crime is always present. But once you start to reduce the prize or spoil the prize, and there's no reward for the criminal, they look for the next best opportunity. And there's a lot of cash in circulation in the country. So there's cash centers, there's retail outlets, there's CRT vans. So as soon as you secure one aspect, they look for the immediate next opportunity. And we've seen that every enterprise that holds cash could become a potential victim of these type of crimes.
And what is your successes within the South African market? And, being local.
We're a proudly South African company, and in 2010, 2011, when we launched the product, we saw immediate successes. So within the first 5 years, we saw about a 60% reduction in ATM bombings. So I don't have the figures offhand, but we saw from around about 350 bombings a year in the ATM sector, dropping to about 100, 130 attacks. And that was in the first 5-year period of the product being rolled out. And the upgrades were always there. The only additional layer of security was the BINK solution.
Okay. And you subsequently had some successes within Germany. Does this mean that the products can be used universally?
Most definitely. So it's a proudly South African product designed in Africa, but to be deployed globally. So in 2022, we always think that South Africa's got it the worst. But we came to realize that this type of attack is global. It's all over Europe. And in 2023, we rolled out the BINK solution. And in the last 2 years, we've deployed 65,000 cash protection devices in that market. And we have seen a drop in an article that was published February this year,
Yeah.
from a peak of 500 bombings a year down to 115 since the implementation of the product, just speaking to the raw success of the first passive solution. These markets had active solutions in the market, but active solutions rely on batteries, sensors, wiring, where we were the first company to take a passive approach. And over the years, we've been told this is it's never going to work. I think the product speaks for itself. Seeing is believing.
And then, so you've also rolled out in some African countries, like Botswana. How is that different from what we're experiencing in South Africa?
Yeah, I think the crime profile will always be the same. An ATM bombing is an ATM bombing, and it's how you protect it. Certain countries have different reaction teams and different protocols, but at the end of the day, opportunists and syndicates are going to take their chance. And there was also a problem back in I think it was 2021, 2022 in Botswana, where there was a massive surge in ATM bombings. And our success stories in South Africa had moved into these countries, and we were approached, and within an 8-month period, the bombings had dropped significantly. It's definitely
very interesting.
it's definitely a product that, regardless of the country, regardless of the continent, it's been designed for various types of markets.
Besides banking, is there any other vertical markets that you've approached?
Most definitely. We've moved into the retail space because there's been a transition from traditional ATM attacks to attacking ATMs at fuel stations. And there's also been a lot of attacks on cash deposit machines. So there's been a surge of attacks in these various industries. And over the last 18 months, when we've realized there's a really big problem, we've transitioned and designed BINK solutions, which is the passive banking ink solutions for 90% of cash handling solutions out in the market. And that's why we were so excited to meet with you guys, because you guys have, you're the forerunners in your space, and it's all about allowing your clients and people in the industry to realize what's out there. And I think that's why we're so proud of our case studies, because the only way for people to buy into something is to actually see the positive results that it can bring.
And in terms of the global solution, have you seen a trend globally, or is it, more the African approach that you're looking at the moment?
So there's definitely an increase in attacks on a global scale. We have seen it go into the Americas and Europe, and of course Africa. We have our fair share of explosive attacks. A common mistake is people are rolling out the wrong solution for the attack module or the attack type. So we strongly believe that every single type of attack has a bespoke solution for that type of attack. And there's no cookie cutter approach where one solution solves all your problems. And I think the sooner more people in Europe and the Americas realize that there are cost-effective solutions purely for explosive attacks, I think we'll see a drop on a global scale from that point of view. But it's not just an African problem; it's definitely a global problem at this point in time.
So, being in Africa, being ground roots here, do you think it's been an advantage to you as SBT?
I would definitely say so. So we've got 10 years of experience on everyone else in the market. When everyone sees their first explosive attack, it's quite daunting because there's a lot of carnage and damage that's left behind on it. But with the amount of attacks that we've seen before Europe and America started seeing these type of attacks, we had seen over 5,000 of these type of incidents. So there's a lot of experience that we've gained having an African product that's ready to deploy, and also something that's tried and tested. So we really live to our motto of smart, simple and proven, because I think proven's the most critical word, especially when you're protecting cash.
But I love what you said about you can always make a plan to get through steel, but it's very difficult to overcome the ink.
Yes,
problem. So
definitely.
that's bringing it back to BINK. How did it sort of go from BINK and where you are now?
We're always looking at bettering the offering to our clients. We don't see ourselves as a vendor, but we see ourselves as a partner to our clients. Our core objectives are hearing their needs and seeing what solution can be designed for their particular problems they're experiencing. We don't like to push particular agendas to our clients, but we more look to listen and see what the problems are. So we still are big advocates of dye stain technology. As you said, there's many types of upgrades that you can use that aren't successful because they're just met with bigger and larger and more dangerous attacks.
Yeah.
So we focus on the dye stain portion and we look to adapt that into various applications that can help our clients.
Okay.
So there's 2 new products that we are going to be launching in the next 2 or 3 months that just try and add additional layers of deterrent. So at the end of the day, we hear our clients' problems and we're trying to address what those problems are in any way, shape or form.
And the products that you have with SPT,
Yes.
you manufacture these products?
Yes, so we manufacture all of our products. All of our products are patented. Everything is done in-house and then we supply everything from South Africa.
Okay. So when we first met, where do you see Smokescreen fitting in to the solution that you would like to supply to your clients, or in a more proactive manner?
So I think this goes back to something that I said earlier, which is seeing is believing. We've heard about Smokes and we've heard about your company. And when you offered a demo to us, I thought, let's jump at this.
Yes.
Let's see what it's all about.
Yeah.
And as confident as I was knowing the layout of our office, I thought there would be a little bit of smoke and I'd be able to walk from point A to point B and it would be a walk in the park. Wow, was I mistaken? I was extremely disoriented and knowing the layout of my office didn't help me at all. It was really, really impressive to see how you guys deny access. And that could be a massive additional layer of security to a lot of the sites that we are busy targeting. So with us deploying into the retail space, the banking space, all of these type of areas could definitely benefit from a Smokescreen solution. We see ourselves as we deny the reward, where you guys deny the visibility and you deny the access to the reward. So
Correct.
It was really impressive to to actually see.
Proactive rather than a reactive solution. Yeah, so I think we can go through the layered approach. You know, I'm sure that you are also familiar with creating more and more barriers to entry. Where are you today, compared to where you started, 2008 to 2026? How have you found things have evolved?
So it's a very interesting question because crime is evolving every day.
Yeah.
It really is. And we've definitely noticed that there's no one solution that will completely eliminate crime.
Correct.
And we believe in strong partnerships. We focus on what we do and we look for strong partnerships where we can do what you mentioned, a layered approach. Because the more layers of security that are added to high-risk sites, the less of an easy mark that particular site would be. We still are very successful in our front, but we notice that there are different types of criminal groups, syndicates, fly-by-nights, opportunists.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, these layers might deter the opportunists, people who are really down and out on their luck and want an easy opportunity, because 9 times out of 10 they don't walk away with the cash, but it's still the damage to the property.
Correct.
It's a damage to the community. Definitely how things have evolved is partnerships and finding the right solutions for the right clients, making sure that they're protected on every front, and listening to their needs, listening to the problems that they really experience, not using that cookie cutter approach.
Yeah. So tailored solutions for each client based on your extensive knowledge and experience within the industry, and then building a bespoke platform for that specific client.
Most definitely.
Is what you are looking at doing, right? And then in terms of the smokescreen solution, being able to take away that visibility element, taking away one of your sensors, how do you feel that that would impact them carrying on with some of the crimes that you've seen over the years?
So it's always difficult to say, because these guys treat this as a profession. They really do. But I think every measure put in place will have a positive impact. And the more difficult it is for them to have successful operations, we're achieving our goal. And just looking at how difficult it was for me to navigate through my own office, I really do believe that there is a lot of merit behind having no visibility on site.
So where can we get hold of you? And, you know, if we wanted to get our clients to see what you're up to, how do they find you?
So they can look for us at www.bankingtech.co.za, or they can email us on info@bankingtech.co.za, or reach out to us on LinkedIn or any mode of our social media, and we'll definitely get back to them. Thank you.
So thanks for your time today. We look forward to doing good things in the future with you, and we thank you again for your time today.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.